America first fell in love with Jennifer Aniston as the effortlessly charming Rachel Green, yet the megawatt smile masking that beloved sitcom persona has always concealed wounds far deeper than any tabloid dared guess. Behind the red carpet gowns and Emmy trophies lay three questions that refused to die. Why did her supposedly fairy tale marriage to Brad Pitt crumble? How did a decades-long feud with her own mother leave scars no plastic surgeon could soften? And, perhaps the most painful mystery of all, what really stopped Hollywood's girl next door from becoming a mom? For years, Aniston let gossip swirl unanswered. But a string of candid interviews has shattered the silence. In late 2022, she finally revealed the grueling rounds of IVF, Chinese herbal remedies, and late-night tears that ended with bittersweet acceptance. "I would have given anything if someone had just told me. Freeze your eggs," she confessed, admitting the ship has now sailed on biological motherhood. Fast forward to 2025 and she's back in headlines again, calling the upcoming fourth season of the morning show so hard to film, proof that even a $320 million powerhouse can still feel the grind. Yet the most shocking revelations reach further back than fertility clinics or Apple TV sets. Aniston's rocky childhood featured a father who vanished without warning and a mother whose cutting remarks about her looks drove a wedge so deep it would take 15 years and a public divorce to mend. Those bruises, she says, shaped every romance that followed, including the planet's most dissected love triangle. So how did a little girl desperate for her mother's approval evolve into the highest-paid actress on television, only to watch her private life combust on the world stage? To answer that, we have to rewind to the very first betrayal, one that began long before Chandler cracked his first joke. But what happened inside that Los Angeles apartment will explain everything that came next. Long before magazine covers crowned her America's sweetheart, Jennifer's first experience of abandonment came at age 9. She arrived home from a friend's birthday party to find her dad, soap opera star John Aniston, suddenly gone. Her mother could only say, "He won't be around for a little while." That little while stretched into nearly a year without so much as a phone call, leaving the shy grade schooler convinced the split was somehow her fault. With her father out of the picture, Jennifer faced a different battle inside the apartment she shared with her mother, Nancy Dow. A former model, Nancy fixated on appearances and drilled her daughter on weight, posture, and makeup. Jen remembers being told, sometimes in front of friends, that her nose was too wide and her cheeks too round. The criticism sank deep. Decades later she'd admit those barbs still echoed when she looked in the mirror. Yet out of that chaos emerged a coping mechanism that would shape her future: comedy. At 6, she began clowning for classmates to diffuse tension. By 11, she was acting in school plays. During her lean New York years, she juggled off-Broadway roles with odd jobs: telemarketing, waitressing, even zipping through traffic as a bike messenger. Anything to keep the dream alive. Still, self-doubt festered. 4 failed TV pilots nearly convinced her that Hollywood had no place for a girl who wasn't pretty enough. But one late-night meltdown and a chance meeting at an LA gas station would rewrite everything we thought we knew about Jennifer Aniston's destiny. By the early 1990s, Hollywood looked like one long cul-de-sac for Jennifer Aniston. She had already burned through 4 canceled sitcoms: Malloy, Ferris Bueller, The Edge, and Muddling Through, and the string of failures left her questioning whether she should quit altogether. One night in July 1994, she burst into tears while filling her car at an LA gas station and poured her doubts onto the only other customer nearby, NBC President Warren Littlefield. Littlefield recognized her from a recent pilot, urged her not to give up, and promised to keep her in mind for the network's new 620-somethings comedy. Weeks later, she auditioned for Friends, initially for Monica Geller. Courtney Cox, who had read for Rachel, asked to switch roles, and producers agreed the chemistry worked better flipped. Cox became obsessive Monica, and Jennifer landed the role of the lovable Rachel Green. But Friends detonated like nothing television had seen. By season 10, the 6-member ensemble negotiated an unprecedented $1 million per episode, catapulting Aniston and her castmates into the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest-paid TV actors of their era. Global syndication only magnified the spotlight. along with the pressure to be perfect Rachel on and off the set. Still, even blockbuster paychecks couldn't shield her from a new storm on the horizon. Fame would deliver a headline-making romance, a lavish Malibu wedding, and, within 5 short years, the tabloid implosion of Hollywood's most talked-about love triangle. And once again, Jennifer would discover that the brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadows behind it. Then came Mr. and Mrs. Smith. While shooting the spy romp in 2004, rumors swirled that Brad and his co-star Angelina Jolie were getting closer than their stunt choreography required. No proof surfaced, but tabloids splashed suggestive photos and breathless, said insider, claims across every checkout line. By January 2005, Jen and Brad released a joint statement announcing a loving separation. The divorce became official that October, and speculation exploded. Had she refused to have children? Was he already in love with Jolie? Jen later told reporters those headlines were fiction. She wanted kids then, and still did. But the narrative stuck. In a full-circle twist, Hollywood insiders now whisper that Jen and Brad may reunite, strictly on screen, for a smart romantic comedy that both view as healing. Neither will sign on unless the script is perfect, but the mere possibility shows how far the former golden couple has traveled since 2005. Yet while the world obsessed over who betrayed whom, Jennifer was fighting a quieter, more private battle, one that would test her body, her hope, and her resilience far beyond the glare of any paparazzi flash. And that war was just beginning. While tabloids obsessed over who stole whose husband, Jennifer was fighting a silent, far more intimate battle, trying and failing to become a mother. For nearly a decade, she chased every remedy doctors and wellness gurus could suggest. "I was throwing everything at it," she told Allure in her 2022 cover story, describing countless IVF cycles, hormone shots, and even bitter Chinese herbal teas that promised miracles and delivered only bruises and disappointment. Each failed round landed on front-page speculation. Magazine editors scoured beach photos for the slightest hint of a baby bump, then spun headlines that she was selfish or career-obsessed if no bump appeared. In July 2016, she snapped. Her blunt HuffPost essay, titled For the Record, lashed out at an industry that treats women's bodies like public property. "What I am is fed up," she wrote, condemning the sport-like scrutiny that insists a woman is incomplete without children. The piece went viral, earning applause from fellow celebrities and a stunned silence from gossip sites suddenly called out by name. But Hollywood never stops moving. With motherhood off the table, Jennifer penned a new script for herself, one that involves billion-dollar syndication deals, a streaming-era comeback, and a surprising late-career business pivot. And that reinvention is where our story heads next. Just when cynics predicted Jennifer would fade into 90s sitcom nostalgia, she detonated a second-act few stars ever master. First came the silver screen wins. The Good Girl proved she could do indie grit, while Bruce Almighty and the murder mystery franchise padded her box office resume, but the real power play arrived with Apple TV+. In 2019's glossy newsroom drama The Morning Show, Aniston traded laugh tracks for lightning rod monologues and collected a Screen Actors Guild trophy on opening night. For seasons in, she admits the latest shoot was so hard, she finished some days drenched in fake oil and genuine exhaustion, yet calls the 2025 episodes her most explosive ever. Success, of course, breeds fresh whispers. When paparazzi caught her sharing a 3-hour Tower Bar dinner with internet darling Pedro Pascal this March, Twitter practically proposed for them. Within days, Page Six sources insisted there is no romance, and Pascal himself threw water on the fire, calling their bond purely platonic. Aniston's own stance? She recently told friends she's healed, dating under the radar, but has zero interest in walking down the aisle a third time. Add a cult favorite hydration deal with Smart Water, Emirates Airlines commercial shot at 40,000 feet, and the ever-growing Friends royalty stream, still estimated at $20 million a year, and the once cash-strapped bike Messenger now runs a mini-empire. Yet she jokes that her proudest perk is simpler, working from home in sweats when LolaVie brainstorms go long past midnight. So, after 3 decades, Where does that leave the girl who just wanted her parents to stop fighting? In her words, content, but never done. And as we turn to our final chapter, we'll ask the question only Jennifer Aniston can answer. Was the price of global adoration worth the scars it left behind? From the moment a nervous 9-year-old watched her father disappear, Jennifer Aniston has been running a marathon most of us never see. She sprinted past a mother's cutting words, leapt over 4 failed sitcoms, and burst through the tape with an era-defining role that made the whole planet feel like her best friend. Yet every victory carried a hidden toll, a love story that unraveled on magazine covers, a decade of hormone shots behind closed clinic doors, and the endless question, why isn't America's sweetheart a mom? Echoing louder than applause. Today, the answer is complicated and strangely liberating. She no longer measures her worth by wedding rings or nursery plans. Instead, she's banking record-breaking syndication checks, steering a hair care startup with her own name on the cap, and rewriting what a middle-aged actress can command in the streaming era. She can joke about Leprechaun 1 minute and carry a prestige drama the next, proof that resilience can outshine any red carpet spotlight. But make no mistake, those earlier scars didn't vanish. They shaped the boundaries she sets in every new relationship, the empathy she pours into characters cracking under public pressure, and the fire she channels into projects that tell women's stories on their own terms. The girl who once mimicked classmates to keep the room laughing has learned the real punchline. Power comes from deciding what parts of your life stay private, and what truths you finally tell. So here's the question only you can answer. If fame, fortune, and global adoration demanded the trade-offs Jennifer paid, would you still chase the dream? Drop your thoughts below, and let us know which untold celebrity journey you want uncovered next. Because the spotlight never stops moving, and the stories hiding just outside its glow might be the ones that change how we see our stars and ourselves forever.